So guys, today we have a very, very special guest on the university, and you guys have seen him in the academy a little bit, and you guys seen him out on IBJJF competing at IBJJF PanAmerican last year. Totally wiped out everybody, and he is Professor Ricardo Incredible Ribeiro. So Ricardo, please do us this favor, introduce yourself and tell us who you are, man.
Hey. First of all, I would like to say that it's an honor to be here. You know, it's last year we had a very nice, how can I say, we met and then we start getting closer, training, wise, have my students, your students. So it's a very nice, things that we had it last year. Hopefully that stays for a while. Yeah. So for you guys that don't know, my name is Ricardo Ribeiro, but I used to train in Miami. I started doing Jiu-Jitsu in Miami with Boca de la Riva. And then all of a sudden, I got the nickname of Mr. Incredible. The guy said that I look like the character of Mr. Incredibles. I don't know, maybe because of the sheen. I don't know, but it is what it is. I started Jiu-Jitsu in 2005, and then in 2007, I decided that I want to do this for the rest of my life. So then I started competing all over the US, and PanAmerican, multi times medals, world champion, and then I was never a PanAmerican champion. And then last year, I had the blessing of become a PanAmerican champion in a black belt, so I'm very happy. And I put in my mind after that, that I want to do the impossible this year, and I want to try to be a PanAmerican world champion this year. So I started my camp early. I started lifting weights, training hard. We do not have the IBJJF date yet, but my camp is started already.
Yeah, so Ricardo, all of that super training stuff, you're from originally from Brazil, right?
Yes, I'm from Brazil.
Okay.
São Paulo.
We're São Paulo.
São Paulo.
São Paulo is a big area for judo. No judo background.
No judo background. Yes. Well, because the thing is, when I was 15 years old, I came to Miami, to study. So I didn't have time too much of a training judo and everything. So when I started going to the school, I went to the wrestling part, because here, thanks God, we have the accessibility of going to wrestling, for the high school. Yeah. So I did 4 years high school of wrestling.
4 years of high school wrestling, and then the big sabbatical, and then you jumped into jiu-jitsu. How did that happen? I mean, was it one of these?
Well, it actually happens this way. I finished high school, and then I love the way to compete. I'm a competitive guy, and I competed wrestling in high school. But after I finished from the high school, I said I still want to do the martial arts. So I met some friends, and they say, "Why don't you do capoeira?" So I was like, yeah, I'll do capoeira. So I did capoeira for almost 3 years. And then I was like, I like capoeira, but capoeira didn't have tournaments back in the days. Yeah. So I was like, I want to do the grappling more, And the guy says, so do jiu-jitsu. And I was like, really, where? Because I didn't know, I didn't know. So the guy says, well, we have a gym in where Boca used to teach. It's 25 minutes from you. So I went over there and I started doing jiu-jitsu. I remember April of 2005, I started doing jiu-jitsu.
All right. So starting in jiu-jitsu, did you ever think in your mind that you'd be where you're at today, starting way back then doing jiu-jitsu?
No, never thought. In my head, I was a little bully in the school, so I've always wanted to learn how to fight and to have the self-defense in my mind, So and when I started doing jiu-jitsu, wrestling and everything, I learned how to be more confident of myself, you know. I was a very nice guy, and the guy come to me and say, "Hey, after school, I'm gonna go beat you up." I was like, "Well, what did I do?" I said, "I didn't do anything." "No, I don't care. I'm gonna." So I was always afraid, you know. And then that's why I've always looked at to martial arts to learn how to defend myself. And that's what I was for the beginning, jiu-jitsu, you know. So that's why when I started jiu-jitsu in 2005, it took me 2 years to decide, man, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. You know, as far as sport, as far as being a instructor, as far as having a team, you know. So then I start training to try to be my best, you know. And then thanks God, you know, I started jiu-jitsu late. I started jiu-jitsu almost like 23 years old, but I still got
early.
Yeah, but I still got the momentum of the world championship, you know. Like, it was so nice, all because I remember the first IBJJF World Championship, it was in 2007.
Wow.
You know, and then back in the days, we used to have a lot of NAGA, Grappler Quest tournaments.
Wow.
So when the Jiu-Jitsu came to US for the first time, I was there. So, and then I saw all the guys like Roger Gracie, Braulio. I see all the guys that I was a huge fan of it. I was like, man, I want this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the things that brought me to jiu-jitsu as well, that, you know, you can practice jiu-jitsu, you can compete, and you can see all of the heroes, you know. I had a discussion the other day about, you know, sports here in the States, and we have a lot of spectator sports. It's not like I can go out and play football, or I can go out and play basketball. Well, I can play basketball a little bit, but baseball, you know, so those types of sports really don't interest me. It's the one-on-one combat competitive type sports that I really gravitate to now. So, well, let me ask you this about your jiu-jitsu. What would be your best favorite technique position that you like to pull off? If you had to rate one technique, I know you got a lot of them, I've seen you train, but what would be the best, or what's your favorite? What's your favorite technique?
That's nice, because you know, because I came from the like wrestling and then capoeira. So when I started doing jiu-jitsu, I was very comfortable of taking people down. And when I started doing jiu-jitsu, you know, I have more advanced guys. So the guys always sweep me and put me my back on the floor. Which wrestler, when you do wrestling, you don't feel comfortable with that, right? So then I started doing half guard. And I learned half guard, and then I started very comfortable with my back on the floor. So I've trained for so many years, and needed use for the competition. So I would say my favorite position will be half guard going to deep half. So both of these two positions, I feel very comfortable as competing and training.
Well, you know, the next question, and everybody always thinks that I'm going to ask it, is what's your worst position or what's your worst thing? But I don't like to ask that, because you guys are competitors, and other people actually watch these videos, then they start doing their homework to try to beat your game. So I'm not going to ask that, but I will ask this.
Okay.
If you weren't doing jiu-jitsu, what sport would you be doing now?
Wow. That is really interests me. I've always liked to do sports. I've always been into the sports since I was little. I like a lot the swimming part, lifting weights, but I don't know if I was gonna be an athlete on that, you know, like a bodybuilder or a swimmer, I don't know, but definitely I'll be doing more those things, you know. I did basketball too, volleyball. I actually did one game in a high school for the volleyball team. So I've always done a lot of sports, but probably if not jiu-jitsu, maybe lifting weights, like a regular guy, getting out of the office and then going to LA Fitness and then lift the weights. Probably that's what I'm gonna do.
So now I know you have a big body of students that you're out there teaching in Manassas and stuff, and you know you're between working and you're doing jiu-jitsu, you're training, you're competing, you're doing privates, you're teaching classes and stuff. When you have that first white belt that walks through the door, and you know they train for about a month, obviously they always gravitate to the instructor. They come to the professor and say, Professor, what can I do to make my jiu-jitsu better? How can I progress my jiu-jitsu? What advice do you give those new guys?
Okay, I put myself into their head because I was also a white belt. And when you are a white belt, you always see people and then they'll be like, I want to grow, I want to do this. So I'll be like, be patient. Your time is going to get there. But the most thing that I would say to either protect them to get hurt, it says doing the basic jiu-jitsu, and then a lot of drills, and then you progress a lot. I think for the beginner guys, it's not more how hard they can roll, it's more how they can understand the concept of the jiu-jitsu, and apply that when they start to roll, because it's really okay, so you just got in the gym, okay, roll. They're not going to understand. But if you teach them how to do a break a fall, how to recover the guard, how to escape from arm bar, those basic things that they will understand when they roll. Yeah, they're not going to be on the same rhythm of the other guys, of course, because they're not rolling, but they understand where they are and they understand how to get out, and that's how it's going to make the next step harder for them, is to apply that when they roll. So basically that.
Well, now in 2020, the IBJJF changed some rule sets for the competitors. What's your opinion on the new rule set? And I would also I ask this question a lot to people. What's your opinion of the 50-50 position?
What's your opinion? You cut it out. What's your opinion? What?
What's your opinion of the 50-50 position? If you were God for the day and you had the ability to change the rules in IBJJF, what would you say, or what would your thoughts be on that 50-50 position?
Okay, so when you say about the rules change, you're talking about the heel hooks for brown, black belts?
Exactly.
Okay, well, I think it's a big step for IBJJF. I think that it was really important for rules to be changed, and then it's always like this, sometimes when you change things, a lot of people are not going to be comfortable with the change, right? But I think that needs to be changed. You know why? Because we have other tournaments, in the other tournaments, an example, ADCC, they also do the heel hooks. And what happens is that when you fight too much IBJJF, and then you have all the rules, and then you go to the other tournaments, that can be a problem, But I think that IBJJF was definitely in my opinion, right to change the rules, so everybody now is going to be on the same page. 50-50 for me, it's complicated. At the beginning, it was nice, but then it comes kind of boring, like stand up, 2 points, go down, switch 2 points, So that kind of stopped the flow jiu-jitsu, like, it's supposed to be like a dynamic, like bah, 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 but the 50-50 kills too much of that, Yeah. So then it's more strategy of points, whoever's going to win the tournaments. I'm not saying that you're not supposed to be strategy, but the 50-50 to me, it's more like, in my opinion, a boring position. And I think they changed the rules about the points as well for the 50-50, so now it's way better.
Yeah.
Now more like I sweep you 2 points, you sweep me 2 points, and stay back and forth only this fight. So, yeah.
Yeah, so now as a competitor, I know you're grooming some guys out there to compete as well. In addition to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training, what advice could you give a guy who wants to compete in regard to strength and conditioning, diet, and overall fitness?
Okay. Well, we have some guys that never competed before that wants to do the first tournament, right? And then we have some guys that competed and love it and still wanted to compete. So I always try to use when I teach, the adrenaline away. Okay, so they get used to the adrenaline. So I do a lot of king of the hill, to the guys, and I leave the guy always uncomfortable in that position. So new guys always come, you know, and then let the other guys, you know, every way, you know. I love a lot of stand up. So, you know, I have an example. We have one student that's going to compete now, and I'm doing the camp for him now. It's a month already, and he's going to compete February 27th. So what I do is like, only thing it takes me is 15 minutes to do the killing part, and then he started roll. So an example, he's a white belt, almost going to blue belt, he has 4 stripes. He fights 5 minutes, right? So what I do is this, for the first round is only stand up. So he have to try to take someone down in 30 seconds. If he don't take someone down, he pays sprawls. So he has 5 minutes. In the second round is him pass, and the other round is him sweeping. So 15 minutes of killing. So the end of these 3 rounds, he's dead. All he's gonna do is the roll. Yes. For the straightening part, I like a lot of conditioning. I like to lift weights a lot. I think it's really good for me to lift weights. I feel comfortable. I feel different when I'm not lifting and I go to compete, and when I'm lifting and I go to compete, I feel a big difference, especially doing squats, deadlift, benching. So I recommend the guys to do lifting as well. But if you are white belt and a blue belt, I recommend you totally focus on the jiu-jitsu. What you have to do now is understand the jiu-jitsu, not be strength. You have to understand everything. You have to be comfortable. So eat the mats and be ready for the war, you know. And then when you have your game, an example, I'm a purple belt and I already know what I like. I like a half guard, or I like a spider, and I want to condition myself. Beautiful, go. You already have your game set up. But if you are a white belt, blue belt, eat mats, train forever.
Well, Ricardo, I would ask, just to lighten up the mood real quick here. I know you've got a big history, you know a lot of people. What is one of the funniest things that has ever happened to you doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
I have many histories to tell.
Now, don't embarrass anybody now. Don't embarrass anybody.
Don't embarrass. Oh, I have a lot of things. I'm gonna say one thing. It's not on the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's on MMA. So Fabio Maldonado, he was going to fight the UFC, and then he called me and said, "Look, I need you to be I need you to help me with the jiu-jitsu, with the ground. You know, you did wrestling and everything." I said, "Okay." So we set up the camp. We did a lot of things, and then he fought in São Paulo. And then after he won the fights and everything, I was in the corner. After the fight is finished, he goes to me and to my friend and goes like, "Guys, I'm hungry. I'm starving. I need to buy something. Go buy something for me, but you guys have to be fast because the bus leave in like 10 minutes. Okay. So one of the guys from the UFC says, "Hey, Fabio Maldonado, here's your check." Boom, and gave the check to Fabio, right? And then Fabio, "Man, I just fought. I don't have pockets." "Okay, Ricardo, get my check." Boom. So I got the check, put it in my pocket, and I said, "What do you want to eat?" He said, "Anything. Hamburger, hot dog, anything, bring it." Okay. So I ran, got there. Then I said, "Hey, give me 1 hot dog, 1 burger, give me a soda." Boom, boom. Okay. Got to the bus. We're walking. In the bus, it was nice. Look at the bus. Shogun, Demian Maia, Fabio Maldonado, Thiago Silva, like a lot of the UFC fighters, Toquinho, all the beasts. And then the guy says, "Hey, stop. The guy's coming to the bus and says, "Fabio Maldonado, yes. Hey, where's your check?" And then Fabio says, and then me goes like, "Hey, it's me. I have the check." "Okay, so check your pocket." And then I go check the pocket. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I lost your check. I lost it." And the guy goes like, "No, I have your check." And then everybody looked at me in the bus like, "Oh and then that was everybody in the bus from where to we leave all the way to the hotel. The guys were making fun of me. And then Fabio says, "Hey, If you need a friend, if you need a friend, call Ricardo. He's the man. So everybody made a huge, no, and then I have a lot of funny story that you can stay a whole night talking about that.
So that's how you got your middle name, Mr. Incredible, because it was incredible that you got that check back.
Right? And then I lost it, but lost for just a little time, you know.
Oh,
and then one more funny story in MMA also. So, you know, like before, the guys have the whole week in the hotel, and then they have to do the interview and everything, and then they do the little training. So the combate and everybody's there asking, hey, how's your training? And then Fabio called me in the boxes. So he was like, bah, 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 bah. And then did jiu-jitsu, right? Okay, so we finished. We walk into the place, the locker room. And then Demian Maia was there, Shogun, like a bunch of fighters. Wow. And then Maldonado comes like this. And then the guy says, what happened? You okay? You okay? He says, man, tell me something. And the guy's like, yes, tell me. He says, this is supposed to be for me, right? So I go present myself, show this is supposed to be for me, right? And the guy's, yeah, to promote you. You guys, yeah, to promote you. Man, can you believe it? Ricardo tapping me 3 times in front of everybody? And everybody, all the fighters goes like, what? I said, no, he's lying, man. So it's a lot of, so the guys, I remember Shogun had the glasses on, he picked the glasses. Did you do that? I said, no, man, you know, Fabio, he's playing around. But it's one thing after another. It's very fun.
That's awesome. It's awesome that you got these good memories, man, and that you got to meet all these people. And now all these people from, no matter where you go, Demian Maia is never going to ever trust you with his check.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Super awesome. Well, Mr. Incredible, final question, man. I know it's late here. You've been training all day. What's your plans? I know you're planning on Worlds. I know you got Pan-Ams coming up. What's the plan? 10 years from now, where do you see yourself?
Yeah, I want to do the impossible this year. You know, like last year was a blessing for me. You know, I have to say with this whole COVID situation, that was a blessing for me. I got a lot of good things happening in 2020, 2021, hopefully, you know, Pan-Ams and World. So I'm already focusing on this. I'm not going to let it go. So I'm going to be there. So that's my plan for 2021, to keep going, keep fighting, you know, and become a champion. Myself in 10 years, wow. This is something that I want to do forever, you know. This is something that jiu-jitsu for me, like you know, like for you too, okay, it's a business, right? We have to get, but for me it's love, you know. I look jiu-jitsu as my lifestyle, you know. Everything that I look at myself doing it, I thinking about jiu-jitsu. If I'm gonna run, I go run and I say, man, what about if you guys just do it? If I go lifting, I say, man, I have to be stronger than my opponent. So everything that I do in my life, I think about jiu-jitsu. You know, this is what I love, and I want to be competing until my body says no competing anymore. And I want to be teaching, and I want to be, you know. And I tell my young students, when they become 18, 20 years old, I'm going to be retired. I don't want to need these guys to come and kill me. But, you know, I plan to have my gym, you know, like from 10 years from now, you know, and then work really hard, you know, and training, and then having more friends like you, having partners, you know, so we can say, hey, let's come to my gym, or I go to your gym, you know. And then it's all about fun too, you know. It's about making friends, it's about lifestyle. So that's what I want this to happen.
Well, Ricardo, we wish you the best. I know for a fact, man, 2021 Pans, 2021 Worlds, it's going to be a train wreck. You're going to go in there and just destroy people. You were destroying people last year. I don't know if you guys have actually got on IBJJF's website or looked at some of the YouTube and watched Mr. Incredible here. It was simply, I can't say no more. It was simply incredible just to watch him destroy the competition. And if you guys are watching this and you are going to compete against him, then you better get your poop in a group, because this guy's he's not coming to play. He's coming to wreck your world, and his jiu-jitsu is on spot. So Ricardo, we wish you the best. We know you're going to we know you're going to do your best. We're glad that you come and train with us. We're glad to have you as a friend. And we wish you the best for your jiu-jitsu and for the next 10 years, man. So thank you very much for giving us a few minutes. That's my alarm here. Giving us a few minutes to be on our little university. We're going to put it on, let the students see it, and some other people. What we'll do is, we'll do this handshake thing. Then I'll just stop the recording, and then we'll talk a few minutes, and that'll be it. Unless you got anything you want to add real quick, man. Let me hear it.
Oh, I just want to thank you for the invitation. You sent a message to me. I was like, yeah, for sure, let's do this. It's always a pleasure to be with you. Friday I'll be there too. So thank you for the invitation. It's really nice, to talk about jiu-jitsu, talk about the life. It's something that we love. It's something that it get us really going, So thank you very much for the invitation.
Oh, no doubt. We, it was well deserved, well welcomed. And we appreciate you coming on. And like I said, I'm gonna put this video up in the university and let the students and those guys see it. What I'll do right now is I'm gonna cut it, guys. You guys won't see anymore. I'm gonna end it, and then me and Ricardo, we're gonna bullshit for just a few more minutes. So guys, until next time, Ricardo, thank you very much. We'll see you guys later.